Well, folks, figured to get on here. It's been a few days. Just trying to get things caught up. So anyhow, I figured I'd get on here and let's talk about something. Our form of government doesn't reflect anything that our founding fathers set up. And people that seem to think they can go out there and complain and yell and scream and whatever they want to do. Saying Trump's doing too much, Trump's this, Trump's that. Trump's not done enough. He's got a lot more to do. You know, the Supreme Court is so far off, the judges are so far off, the legislature is so far off. And the fact of the matter is now we got a president in there that's looking around going, this doesn't resemble anything that when I was in school, when he was a young man. This doesn't resemble anything that then. When I was a young man, it doesn't resemble anything then either. See, it's all screwed up. It's got to be dismantled and put back together. Why? Because you are the people. You are the government. These people that we're talking about, presidents and legislatures and even Supreme Court, they're just agents. They work for us. They're there at our will, okay? Then you get a few, and the rest of these people are just a bunch of rogue agents, is what they are, rogue. I mean, they want to take all this money. You know what I feel? It's not money. It's just debt is all it is. And they want to try to put that on you, put this burden on you. It's not your burden, okay? Your agent's burden is who it is. They signed it, not you. Oh, we signed it in your name. You didn't sign anything in my name, okay? I mean, you want to fix all this? It's simple. They want to put everything in capital letters. Just start right in the upper and lower case, put a comma between your first and last name, and there you go. It's that simple. See, before they were talking to the corporate person, you're not the corporate person. That's not you. You don't even know who the hell that is. You didn't create it. They threw it at you. They told you you're taking it. Like I said, you're not a slave, but they made you a slave. And let's forget all this because it's all nonsense. You see, we sit here and we get tied down in the bullshit of the Constitution and your Bill of Rights and all that stuff. The fact of the matter is, none of it matters. You know what matters? God. God created this. It's God's. It's not some legislature. Your rights don't come from some legislature. Your rights come from God. And your founding fathers said it very well, inalienable rights. Okay? And a republic, each individual. Well, there you go. Again, we're getting back to the basics. We're getting back to where the rubber meets the road. See, I don't get anything from these people. Nothing. They don't give me anything. I give them. You give them. See, they're there at our whim, our whatever you want to call it. And we can throw their ass out anytime we choose. We don't even have to listen to them. They want to sit there and say, oh, we got to have this law, that law. The only law there is God. That is it. God's law, period. And that goes for everybody in this whole world. God created us, not a government. Okay? God gave you free will, not a government. God gave you all this stuff, not a government. Now, when we give these people checks to go do things, well, they're the ones that have rules and regulations, and they got all kinds of stuff on them. All kinds of statute and administrative law and everything else because, well, they're taking a paycheck from us. They're the slaves. If you really want to stop and think about it, government is the slave to you. You are the ruler, and God is the supreme ruler of everything. I mean, God created everything just, well, let's see, I want day and night. It was a day and night. Wanted land and water. There's land and water. See, God just says it. He doesn't really have to say it. He just thinks it, and it is. All right? You want God's protection. Psalms 91. Break out your Bible and read it. See, God knows your heart. You can't fool God. You can't fool him. God knows everything. And you can't play him for a chump. Can't. We belong to him. Trey, we are slaves to God. See, but God gave you free will. So you're not really a slave. You see what I'm saying? You got choices to make. And God says, this is my law, and you follow my law. And the number one most important one is he is a jealous God. He is above all. Above all. And what's it say about that? Well, that says real simple. Everything you need to know. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve the master here and the master in heaven. Matter of fact, that master in heaven's here. I don't care where you go in the world, where you go in the universe. I don't care if you go to the center of the earth. God's there. He's everywhere. Okay? Nothing's changed. God doesn't change. His word is true and is the truth. He doesn't lie. He's the same God today as he was then. He's the same God that can put flesh on bones and meat and everything else. You could be laying there, just a bunch of bones in it. There you are, alive again. Why? Because that's the power of God. There's no man that can do that. And no man can harm you. Not if God doesn't allow it. See, the devil had to go to Jesus and say, hey, that Job, he's going to curse you, man. He's going to renounce you and everything else when I go to work on him. God knew his heart. God knew Job's heart. And threw everything at him. Threw everything at Job. You know what Job did? He thanked God. He honored God. He kept his word. He was a righteous man. The devil come back defeated. God looked at Job and said, I'm going to restore you. Not just what you had, but tenfold of what you had. Because you held your word. You held to me. You put me first. People, that's what you have to do in life. You have to put God first. Not your pocketbook. Okay? Not your status symbol. None of that bullshit matters. None of it. Only thing that matters is you put God first. Everything else falls into place. God will take care of you. Period. They say there's going to be a rapture. Okay? There's a rapture. Who do you think God's going to take? He's going to save All these people from hell on earth. Who's he going to save? The righteous. The ones that follow him. Put him first. The rest of us, sinners, that don't want to put God first, so on and so forth, he's going to leave us here to battle it out. Oh, you still could get saved. You still could. There's always that possibility. But it's up to you. It's always been up to you. Not a government. Not some tyrants that want to micromanage your life. That's not freedom, people. Freedom is not micromanaging your life. See, that's what Trump talks about too. Okay, you want to put a regulation, you got to get rid of 10 more. What? Got to get rid of 10? What? Yeah, but we can't micromanage the people? Right. You're not here to be micromanaged. You're here because God put you here for a purpose. And that's to honor him. To honor God. Put God first. Not to back down from evil. You back down from evil, well, you're going to get evil. You stand up to evil, it'll flee. Always does. You know, these people that don't like what Elon's doing, well, guess what? It should be done every year. States should do it every year. Counties should do it every year. Anybody that takes federal money should be accounted for every year. They should do an audit. That's all this is. And if you don't like audits, well, I'll tell you what. What do you got to hide? That's what they always told you. Well, if you done nothing wrong, what do you got to hide? When it comes to your personal life, it's your person. It's your, just that. Person. Personal. Okay? They don't have the right to interfere in your person. Your personal life. They don't have any right to interfere. This audit, that's public. That's your servants being audited. Your servants. Your slaves. They work for you. They cop an attitude with you. You bring all hell and fire down on top of them. Don't let them get by with their bullshit. And I don't care who they are. Or who they think they are. Judge thinks that courtroom's his. It ain't his. He didn't pay for it. Plus his paycheck's coming from who? You again. Everything that guy does in his life is coming from you. His existence is because of you. That cop's existence is because of you. Legislature. Their existence is because of you. Why? Because you're giving them pensions and you're giving them Medicare, Medical. You're giving them everything. Their whole existence derives on you. They're your slave. You paid for it. But then they want to turn around and make it that, guess what? Oh no. We're the master. No, you're not the master. You're so far from the master. You're down in the pit. That's where you're at. You live in the pit. We live up here. That's right. You're in the bottom of that privy pit. And you know what a privy is. You know why you dig the pit. That's where they live, down there. Okay? Man gives them some stupid... No! Man. Here again. Man. It all comes from God. Your life comes from God. The breath you breathe, the oxygen, everything comes from God. These people don't invent the atmosphere. They didn't invent the soil. They didn't invent this planet. Everything that they build and make and everything else comes from this planet. Monsanto. Oh, that who invented the fucking corn? Who invented that kernel? Wasn't you. It was God. So how can you lay claim to any of it? You can't. It's God's. You interfered with God's. That's right, God's. Do you see what I'm saying? Man interferes with God. He put this stuff up there for us to use. But you got to follow God's laws. You got to be righteous. The people that trespass against you, you got to forgive them. No matter how hard it may be, you got to forgive them. It's part of being pure. You get old stuff, you see a lot in life. Been through a lot. There ain't nothing surprises you. A lot of things piss you off. One thing pissed me off, child molesters. Oh my God, I tell you what. I had these guys in prison, yeah. You might think they're animal stuff, but by God, you go in there, be a child molester, you won't live a week. You call them animals? Yeah. No. Anybody do that to a child? God told them, right? He told them, you better tie your millstone around your neck and throw yourself in the deepest part of the sea. And I'm still coming for you. I mean, my attitude about child molestation is real simple. Okay, everybody gets a trial. You had your trial, and I'll just walk out back. Only thing you're going to hear is a single gunshot. That's it. Same thing with like raping a woman. Same thing. Just take and walk out back, and you only going to hear is a damn gunshot. Yeah, I know. You get old like me, and some things just really piss you off. And it should. It should piss you off. You just pray to God that He takes care of him. He takes care of this. He intervenes. There's just pure evil out there. People don't believe it. They try to tell you, oh, man, why would you want to believe in the devil? Well, that's what the devil is trying to get you to think for since beginning of time. He's a trickster. He's a liar. Everything he does is just deceitful. Know any people like that? Right. That's why you let God take care of it. You let God take care of them. I know. I said like go put a bullet in the head. I know. I know. What God's going to do to him is far, far worse than what I could do to him, ever. Because where they're going, they're never going to die, and they're going to be tortured. Day in, day out. There's no day. It's just eternity. And they're never going to be able to leave. They're never going to die. They're going to feel everything. Yeah. Hell. I don't think you even can comprehend it. You can't even comprehend what I'm saying. Take your worst fears and magnify it by 100,000 fold and live in that. Yeah. People, pray to God, get right. Doesn't matter if then the world's coming or not. Then for you might be coming sooner than the world. Be ready. Become righteous. Change your ways. And go to God with a not necessarily, you're not going to have a pure heart, but you go to God humbled and broken and sincere and mean it. And God will take care of the rest. But you got to do your part. I personally care where you go. I don't want to see any of you in hell. If I did, I wouldn't say a word about it, and I could give a shit. But I do care. I care where you go. I say a lot about it, and I hope people think about it. Let's put some real thought into it. Well, looks like she finally went out. Lasted pretty long, really. Yep. So, folks, y'all have a good one. And pray for one another. Pray for yourself. Pray for others. Be thankful for what you have. Thank God for what you have. There's a lot of people out there that they just want to sit back and skate and do nothing. And there's people out there that work their butt off and still have nothing. Wouldn't you rather work your butt off and have nothing than just sit around and be a lazy bum and have nothing? At least you can look in the mirror and go, I tried. Didn't succeed at what I wanted, but I tried. God's going to say, yes, you did. I got a place for you. You'll rest. I got you. The worries are over. You're in paradise. That's what I want to see for you. Paradise. For all of you. But realistically, I can tell you, there's few people are going to get into heaven. They all struggle with it. The thing of it is, God says, don't doubt. Don't doubt. You talk to me, consider it done. When you're doubting, you're doubting your faith. You're doubting me. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Most people clicked off. Most people didn't watch half of this. Most people clicked off a long time ago. They don't like to hear these things. You want to be a good man, you want to be a good woman. Everybody's got their bullshit out there. You know what? You follow God, you follow God's word. You'll be the finest you could be if you follow God. It's not a mystery, people. Yeah, there's people out there, man, that got other self-help, man. Be yourself. You're unique. Be yourself. Don't change for these people. Change for God. Change your heart. Serve God. You're successful. But because you wear a fancy suit and you have a lot of money in the bank and that makes you successful? Really? God was the poorest. He didn't have a house. That's what's so funny. Everything he had, the tomb was If you look at it as from a man's standpoint, he was poor. He didn't have anything. He didn't own anything. But he was God, and he created it all. Ain't that something? As a man, he was poor, but as God, he owns it all. It's all his. So when he's walking around, everything's his. That house, this hut, that lake, that stream, that river, that mountain, far as I could see. Look up in the stars, they're all his. He created it all, but he was poor. Ain't that something? And you know what? It's all yours too. God made it for you. And governments, they want to take. They want to kill the spirit that God gave you. Yeah. This is why governments fail. This is why governments have problems and people uprise and the whole 9 yards, because they're not godly. They want to control. Want to control. Try to control something. You will be the most miserable person in your life. That will be misery right there. Control. Let God control it. Let God be God, and God will take care of it. And your life will be good. Don't worry. Give your troubles and worries to God. That's what he wants. That's why he's there. That's why he meant prayer. Folks, I could go on. Y'all take care, okay?